Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to ASM Gaming YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have a great podcast for you. The first one for ASM Gaming YouTube, I want to make this a regular thing. Maybe, let's say once a fortnight, get someone on that we could all respect, talk to, find out a deeper dive into what they do involved in gaming. But first, we got a great start with Wryce. He's currently a Valorant professional under 1620 Kings, which is my organization, which I am CEO of. So we're very fortunate to have him on. We will do a deep dive into who he is, how he got involved, what it takes, and all things 1620 Kings and Valorant. So we'll just switch over. Sorry, first I'm doing podcast, just getting used to the new format and how I'm working it out. Just had some issues with getting his pop out working correctly. So bear with me, fam, but we will get it working in due time. So I'll just get him on. Welcome.
We on?
We're on. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm keen.
Keen as. So how are you, man? What's new?
Not much. We had that Lenovo Intel tournament, I believe.
Yep.
Top 4, which wasn't. It was actually better than I thought we were gonna go. We the whole first part of it before we got into the finals, we won every game, and it was I don't know, 13-2, 2 rounds was the most anyone got on us. So we were just smashing everyone. Even AGG, they only got 1 round on us the entire game.
Yep.
So yeah, we did real good.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, we're just grinding, yeah.
There was some really good plays there. It was quite impressive considering where you guys were first starting when you first joined with the scrims and a few comps you entered then, and to at the start just really sort of blowing it away and starting out really strong.
We're doing well. We're piping up.
All right, so give us some more deeper dive into where you come from. So how did you start getting into gaming? What was, I guess, let's just start with what was the first game you ever that really made you think, oh, this is what I want to do?
Oh man, we're gonna go way back for that. So I think, this would be back in primary school for me. So a long time ago, my Wii broke. Those little Nintendo Wiis that they had I don't know, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It broke. And so my mom told my dad, she's like, oh, take the boys to the store, get a new Wii or whatever. And then while we were there, I convinced my dad. I was like, oh, mom told us she wanted to get us an Xbox, she wanted an Xbox. And so somehow I convinced him to get us an Xbox, and we got Halo 3 on it. And then yeah, it was just, she didn't tell us to do that, but we got it anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we had Halo 3. And man, I played that game on weekends. I'd play that game for 10 hours a day, and I'd come home from school, do my homework, play the game 5 hours a day, and that's where it all started, honestly, back on Halo, and it all sort of went from there.
So you're almost like Ninja, how he started on Halo.
Yeah, well, I actually randomly got in an Xbox Live party chat with him one time, back in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was because at the time we were playing Halo Reach.
Yep.
And yeah, I was in an Xbox Live chat with him one time, and it was the craziest thing. Because at the time, it was a big deal for me to meet Ninja, because
yeah.
Back then the Halo stuff, I looked up to him so much, so I was freaking out. I was only there for a minute or two before I got kicked. But,
that's insane.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, man. Now he's doing all this crazy stuff, so yeah, it was nuts.
Could I ask you a favor? Are you able to just check your Discord and just see if you can turn it up? Apparently people are saying that it's not loud enough, but it's complete. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe turn it up on your own, because it's on complete max on my side. So there's really nothing I can do unless it's just your side. For some reason, it's not coming through that well. Maybe just that. Maybe that's better. We'll just start with that. We'll do that for now.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so that's crazy. So you got to do a little cheeky party chat with Ninja.
Yeah.
That's insane. What'd you talk about? Did you just talk? Was it just pretty much pure gaming, or you just talked about anything else? Or it was just you doing in a party chat?
Yeah, I was just I was so young back then. I don't even remember. We were just there were a bunch of people in there. So it was a long time ago. I don't even remember what was going on. I just got in there somehow from one of my friends, and everyone was messing around, and yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the only time I've had any interaction with him. I didn't have him on
yeah
Xbox or anything. It was just some party chat I was in. Yeah.
That's sick, man. And then so where'd you go from there?
I went from Halo straight to Black Ops 2,
Yep.
and you know, the league play and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So me and my friends from school, we made a team and we were grind. Like we got like rank 1 master for like 4 seasons in a row, however it worked. So we were grinding. We were doing pretty well. I had to carry everyone though, but yeah, Black Ops 2 definitely. I think I had like some crazy amount of hours on that game too.
Yeah.
It was like 7,000-8,000 hours as well. And I was only like 15, 16, so.
And when
It'd be like 13, 14 actually.
and that's young.
Yeah.
And so when did you decide to start transitioning to, say, I guess, content creation and posting clips or streaming? What spurred that on?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. So basically, this was still in Black Ops 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing competitive a lot, and I was really enjoying that. And then I like ran into Wolfie NZ, and like he had this trick shotting team, and I got into trick shotting really heavily.
Yep.
And that's where all the content stuff started popping off. And I was doing all this like Call of Duty trick shotting stuff. If you go back on my like channel real early, you'll see all that stuff. There's a lot of videos that are unlisted because I can't listen to them anymore. It's just so cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where it all popped off. And like back then, you would get thousands of views for the worst videos ever. Like they were so bad, but you get like so many videos if you had the right like hashtags or
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. And like all the Twitter as well. Like the numbers back then were insane, and like that's where it all started for me. That was all the way back in console. Like I had a MacBook Air. I was recording with an Elgato. It was insane.
That's crazy, man. That's so long ago.
Yeah, no, it's come a long way now. Like it's crazy to see.
And so I've got right now actually on the stream your YouTube stream with your clips and your sniping. So you started on to the trick shotting, the sniping, and do the stuff like that. That blows my mind, trick shotting. I just don't get it. Like I don't know. I don't even know how people do it on Have you always been PC? Like when did you transition?
PC. So this would have been maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I went to PC. So I stopped the whole trick shotting thing. My dad like had an old PC used for work, and we put a graphics card in it. And I started playing Counter-Strike with all my friends at school.
Yep.
And so we were just playing or whatever. But I was always a lot more competitive when it comes to like the gaming stuff than all my friends were.
Yeah.
So like I'd, venture off and meet other people, and we'd like grind way harder. And I think I got up to like global in CS, and we were playing Face It and all this stuff. And so yeah, it was a lot. It was like 5-6 years ago when I started playing PC games, and then Paladins came out. And my friends like introduced me to it, and like that's when my whole I was into esports a little bit back on console because of like Optic and FaZe and like all the YouTube.
Yeah.
So all that stuff, I was really into it, but I never like played it. Like I never myself got into the whole esports thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when Paladins came out, that's when it all took off for me. It was really weird how the whole situation like unfolded with that as well. Yeah.
And how long were you in the Paladin scene for? How far did you go with that? And then also, what made you I guess what made you sort of step away from Paladins?
So it would have been probably late 2016 is when I started playing Paladins, just with my school friends, and like from the get-go I loved the game, especially this character called Drogo. He's like this dragon, he could fly around, shoot rockets, a little bit like Pharah from Overwatch. It was pretty much the same character actually. Yeah. So yeah, I started playing Paladins, and from the get-go, as I said, it's like I loved the game. It was just like for some reason just resonated with me. It was just such a good game. I loved it. I loved playing it. And then a couple months in, I started getting really into it because I was playing a lot and I was doing pretty well, like moving up the ranks and stuff. Yeah. And they had like this really cool leaderboard the way it worked, because you get a placing for individual characters and stuff.
Yep.
Which I haven't seen before actually in any other game. So yeah, I was doing that. And I made a team with a bunch of guys I was playing with at the time, and we actually did really well. We got like top 4 in the region or something.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was really good. And then out of nowhere, a team called Avant, Avant at the time, they needed a Blast player, which I was like I was playing
Mm-hmm.
Blast characters, and so I tried for them, got on the team, and then from there it just went crazy. Like I was
Yep.
playing all the time, competing like we were winning a lot of stuff too. Well, not winning, but we were winning money from it. Like we were
Yeah.
doing really well. And yeah, so that was about late 2016 to early 2017, and then the Avant team we disbanded, and I joined a team called Kings, which later turned into Outlaws.
Yep.
And that's when I like played LAN and did all that crazy. Like we were
Yeah.
number 2 in the region by far. Paladins was a weird game actually. There was the top team, like who was just top by like crazy margins, which was Kanga, and then there was us. So it was like Kanga, us, and then everybody else is like down here. It was this really like strange environment as well, because it would never change. It was always like this.
There's just these top 3 orgs, just like who were just always there. No one else could break into it.
Yeah, no one could get in. It was insane. Like it was just like, yeah, it was just us and then everyone else. And yeah, that's what happened. And then Paladins, the devs sort of messed the game up at its core. So they had like this update called OB64, and that killed Paladins. Like, I'm sure you could even look on the Steam charts from back then. Like no one played it.
Yep.
And so I was out for, I don't even think I didn't touch a PC for like maybe 10 months or something. Like we moved house and I just didn't didn't touch my PC. And then I came back and Paladins was doing alright, so I came back, and that's when I got on the Mindfreak roster. Yep. With a couple other players, and a player who's in wildcard for Valorant right now called Denim. He was on that roster too, back in Paladins. And yeah, we were still second though.
Yeah.
Never got first. It was just that little bit. Yeah, so I mean that's basically like the start of my esports career.
Yeah.
With Paladins, yeah.
And so, what's it like, I guess, with Paladins? I mean, you've already done a fair few LANs. What does it feel like? Is it really basic when you go to a LAN, like you just show up, you sit down behind your console or computer and play? Or are there certain times, rulings, you know, when they tell you when they're live, all this sort of stuff, you got to follow these types of rules? Like, what's the sort of process to when you show up, and then I guess when you leave? Like, is there sign-in forms, all this stuff? Like, how legit does it go?
So I guess it depends on the kind of LAN you're playing. We were playing like a stage LAN, where there was like a crowd and stuff. So I don't remember there being any like I don't even think we had to sign in anywhere. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think we ever had to do anything like that. Which actually, now that you think about it, sounds kind of weird. Like you would assume you'd have to like show ID and like.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Like, there's some real like serious fans. Like, you never know. Like, they might be, oh yeah, I'm on the team, and like.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm sure they do it now.
Yeah.
But back in 2017, they didn't. But I remember we had to go through. So so my team was there for like a whole week. We boot camped basically. At the.
Do you want to just quickly explain boot camp to the people who don't know what that means? Like, I think some people might be like, "Oh, boot camp, so you went and did weights or something," like.
Nah, nothing like that. Us gamers, we don't really do that kind of stuff. No, so basically, boot camp is you fly down to the city or country or wherever you're playing at, and for like a week, maybe even 2 weeks, depending on how much you need to cover in the time before the actual LAN. You fly down with the team, you get like a Airbnb or something, and then you'll like basically just hang out for a week. You go train at like an internet cafe or a facility, and yeah, you just run through strats. And boot camps are really helpful actually, because you get to experience what it's like with your team in like a real environment as well, and like in an actual setting where you're all next to each other, which is really helpful before you play LAN. And yeah, like everyone can say stuff a lot easier because you're like right next to the person. Yeah, so that's basically a boot camp. So yeah, we did that for a week. And yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest. Actually,
That's
it was
sick.
great. I loved it.
And so, do you have to end up? Well, I guess, do you get the choice of bringing your own peripherals and plugging them in, or do you have to use the ones that are supplied by sponsors or whatnot, or how does that work?
This leads me to a great story. So,
Mhm.
they send you like almost a briefing beforehand. And they're like, yeah, so you bring your own stuff. Because there's like tons of problems with like tournament organizers like providing peripherals to players because it's not the normal stuff you play on, and it makes a huge difference
Yep.
to like your actual gameplay. So they're like, yeah, you bring your own stuff, etc., etc. And they're like, if you don't have it, we'll supply it, which is what it said on the briefing. And I'm
Yep.
like, okay, cool. So I'll bring everything except my keyboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get there, we go through all the media stuff, like do the photos. You know, we go there a couple days before and like see the layout. We have to wear these like high-vis like jackets and stuff. Anyway, we get to game time, or like very close to game time, and we're setting up. And I look to one of the admins. I'm like, oh, so when do I get the keyboard to play with? And they're like, what? Like, what do you mean, what keyboard? And I'm like, on the thing it said you guys supply us stuff we don't bring. And they're like, oh no, we're not gonna do that. I'm like, what? So I'm sitting there with a mouse and a mouse pad. I don't even think I had a headset because they supply like white noise headsets
Yeah.
or whatever. And so the guys who were like in charge of the PR, I
Yep.
think it's called Double Jump Communications. They had to like go around to the booths at the expo and like get a keyboard. And eventually I got like a Razer keyboard. And it was like real stressful. And they finally gave it to me. I had to like shout Razer out and stuff on Twitter. It was this whole thing, man. It was crazy. Yeah, no, LANs are weird. I don't think it'd be this scuffed these days though.
Yep.
I think it'd be way more like, yeah.
Well, it's definitely esports definitely taking a turn in how they present it, especially through LANs and stuff. I mean, you're even seeing it, even though it's late at night on like Channel 7 or Channel 9. I mean, they've got it on mainstream TV, which is a step in the right direction to getting people or getting esports taken more seriously as like an actual sport next to like, you know, AFL and all those other sports.
Yeah.
So if they can get the LANs becoming more mainstream and being a bit more, I don't know, just easier to follow, I can definitely see it hitting mainstream a lot more. And I mean, obviously our generation, as we grow up, our kids are gonna be into like gaming and stuff and understand that esports is a sport itself and want to see that on TV or KO Sports or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be really cool to see that as well. Actually.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Just it'd be so good to have it just a pure streaming rather than just like Twitch all the time and playbacks.
Yeah.
Like if, but then it all comes down to money in the end as well. The same thing, buying out rights and all that stuff. So what? So you left Paladins, and so then did Valorant come after that, or did you have a little hiatus and just sort of have fun with your own content for a while, or was it pretty much straight into Val?
So I took a break, came back to Paladins, and then the Mind Freak team, Paladins sort of died, so I don't really have anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went to a game called Krunker, which
Yeah,
is
the desktop game.
Yeah,
I played that last night for the first time. It's not too bad. It's good fun.
Yeah, no, it is good fun. So I went to Krunker because one of my mates, his name's Marzi, he's like he does like the photography campaigns for like Order and stuff, and he played like competitive Overwatch. He messaged me, he's like, dude, we gotta play Krunker. I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, I've never heard of that before. He's like, dude, it's like this FPS game, you like play it on the browser or whatever. And they came out with the client later, but yeah, at this time I don't think I had the client. And so I'm like, alright, so he made a team with me, him, one of my Paladins teammates who I'd played with before, and a guy called Crew. Who was like Krunker player at the time. And we're playing whatever, and we're doing pretty well. And actually, I will say, Krunker is a lot of fun. Like, competitively, it's a lot of fun, because it's like you play hardpoint like in Call of Duty. But it's like a little, looks like Minecraft blocks.
Yeah.
Shooting each, yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, so I played that for a while, ended up joining some other team called Kings, and then I joined another team under an org called Obi Liquid, and we like won Krunker, and I just quit. After that, I was like, I'm done. I've won. I've done what I need to do. And dude, the prize pools and the viewership in Krunker are insane.
Yeah.
Like, right, dude, they get like 5,000 concurrent viewers for a tournament that happens weekly.
It's surprising.
Like,
Sometimes there's these little hidden gem games that have this crazy supporter base, and there's a lot of money backing it.
yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, it's like you wouldn't even expect it. It's like it's sort of like how Rocket League's blown up out of nowhere, and it's just like massive. When we first heard about it, so it's just a go-kart soccer game, and it's just insane. Like, yeah, it's just crazy, these little hidden gems. And then you have Krunker. I never heard about it, and then we had a content creator who was a Krunker streamer, and like people were frothing for it. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was really insane to me as well, because like the first time I played, I was like, oh, they're gonna stream this, okay, cool. And I expected there to be like 20 viewers. I look on the stream, there's like a couple thousand. I'm like, okay, like this is legit. And the prize pool is like $1,000 a week as well.
Yeah.
And it's in USD as well, so it's like the conversion rate for us is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made a bunch of money off that game over like however many months. And then at this point, I'm pretty sure Valorant was announced, but it wasn't Valorant, it was Project A.
Yep.
So it had like, yeah, so it had been like leaked,
Yeah.
but not announced properly. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna go to this game.
Yeah.
But then Halo Reach on PC got released, and Halo is my like top all-time favorite game. Nothing can top it. Like Halo is like where I'm at.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. As soon as Halo comes out, I'm quitting Krunker. I'm gonna go. I'm quitting the IO game. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go play Halo on PC. I'm gonna go pro in Halo. And then there was just no Halo tournaments.
Yep.
At all, like nothing. But I did do well in Halo. Like for the first month on release, I was ranked 4 or 5 in the entire world for like kills.
Yep.
Like the amount of kills I've gotten. So for like, I was playing 18 hours a day, like just sleep deprived, feel terrible the whole time for a whole month. I was grinding, I was keen, it was awesome. And then there's no competitive stuff going on. And so I'm thinking like, I'm just wasting my time here. And then Valorant comes out and I'm like, all right, that's my calling right there. And you know, here we are.
It's crazy because just even the games you've mentioned, and none of them have been, I guess I would say Valorant is heavy on precision, and majority of the games like I haven't seemed to be where like the headshot is like the game ender. So like Counter-Strike, the game that you didn't talk about, which is Counter-Strike, which is the biggest like I guess more normal transition into Valorant. I guess a lot of the top pros in Valorant have come from Counter-Strike, and you've been able to just be cracked and adapt and still be able to be on top of your game in a game that's revolved around hitting those one taps. Yeah,
it was my favorite thing about when Valorant came out was everyone came from all these like different games. And like the top players obviously were from Counter-Strike because they had all the, you know, spacing and the aim mechanics, etc. But the one thing that was very easy for me to pick up on was the utility, because it's basically just abilities from like paladins, essentially. And so like straight off the bat, I'm like, all right, this is super easy. The main thing I had to get used to was learning CSGO mechanics, because I was pretty lucky. I had a pretty good idea of what they were as well. Because I played with like the Avant team, like in MM and stuff, and I was playing with them, and I did pretty well in CS. Like I got like global or whatever, played a lot of Face It. So I had a pretty good understanding of it already, so I was very lucky. But yeah, the utility and stuff came straight away. It was super easy, and it was really cool to watch like Overwatch Paladins players come together with CS players in this new game, which is like half, and like try and figure out what the meta was. It was so cool to me. Like it was really enjoyable to play.
And what
it's a bit crazy now though.
What? Yeah, it definitely is. It's just crazy how much is blown up. Like it's pretty much an organization is crazy to not have a Valorant team, just with the way it's dishing out. So what do you think is, I guess you would think is the next step for Valorant? Like, do you think the path that they're on at the moment is the is the right one, or do you think it's just going to be when they're able to do proper lands, that's when it's going to really blow up, or do you think the state it's in is in pretty much the perfect state?
So I think it's been really annoying for Valorant esports that like the coronavirus has been going on. Like that's certainly inhibited a lot of lands and stuff, which would have done a lot for the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're going in a good direction right now. Like they're doing a lot of open tournaments. Like in OC, open tournaments are really good. And they've got the Masters thing that's about to happen in like Iceland or something for all the international teams, which is dope.
Yeah.
And we've like seen Sonics have gone over to NA, which is cool. So the main thing is right now is we really need an Australian LAN.
Yep.
Basically, like an OCE LAN. Like we really need to see that happen, and I think it is going to happen. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this on stream, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to happen at the end of the year.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say where I heard that from.
Yeah.
Don't kill me, Riot. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, we really need to see that because I think that'll like solidify Valorant in OC. Like as soon as a LAN happens, that's when everyone's gonna be like, oh, this is serious now.
Yeah. And that'll help OC in general, because I think OC it's just struggling a little bit with I think anything outside of OC taking us seriously in the competitive scene, because a lot of our players individually, once they get good, like it's just like sometimes in sports or soccer teams and stuff, they'll just pick that individual and ship them over to US, and then they're just a part of that team. So it's hard for OC to be taken seriously as a competitor. So I think if we can get really good lands and just almost build off ourselves, it can be really good for us and for everyone involved, all orgs. We just got to work together.
100%. The cherry picking always has been a terrible thing for OC. Like taking the best player and just shipping them off is always like really it's inhibited the region a lot. Like when they took the back in CS ages ago, when they took what was it, Voxy Minor at the time, they took them over. They did really well. That was huge. Like there was an actual team from Australia competing. It was like this big deal. And then they had like Greyhounds as well, did pretty well overseas, and Renegades back, and they turned into 100 Thieves. So it's OCE gets a bad rep. We're not bad players. We just have bad opportunities, and I think that's what the other regions need to realize. Like I reckon we'll create some upsets if we go over.
Yeah, and it's just hard. It can come down just to pure money, because they just have there's just more volume there, so then they have the money. Like it's hard for our organizations to compete and hold on to players, so it comes down to, I don't know, maybe the players backing their org and building a bit of trust within the org, and maybe just thinking, I want to have a bit of pride behind supporting OCE, even if that means I'm sacrificing a little bit of money. But it's hard because young players get picked up in gaming and they're getting thrown all this money. It's pretty hard to say no.
Yeah, 100%. It's a big problem. It really is.
So what do you think would be your number one change, apart from say within OC, just in the game itself, that you would like it can be anything from, say, someone needs to be increased power wise, someone needs to be decreased map wise, something needs to be changed. There's something within the game that you think needs to be seriously looked at, or do you think everything's really balanced really well?
I think that, man, this is a really good question actually. There's a couple of things. The main one is would be like the judge, like the shotguns in the game. They're extremely overpowered. Like there are a couple of chokeholds on maps, especially like Bind and Split, where if you have a judge on that map, or even a Bucky really, but a judge is still probably twice as overpowered. If you're sitting in a corner and like 4 guys just come up around that corner, there's nothing that they can do. Like unless they get like a flash off on you, which versing a good player is highly unlikely because they'll just turn it. You will 100% lose 4 players in like under a second. And I think that needs to be changed immediately, because it's super frustrating and it just doesn't make any sense.
Would you just straight up change the damage, or would you change the spread, or maybe the rate of fire? What would you think be the best option?
Oh, probably the rate of fire and the range, as well as like, because you can jump shot with it, like you can be in the air and shoot as well, which is a huge deal as well, because like it's really hard to shoot someone in Valorant who's in the mid jump, because like the hitbox is like kind of weird. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that they need to like fine tune with that. And then also on Haven, there's 3 sites. I'm not, I don't really like that much as well. It's kind of doesn't really make any sense to me. Like they should make B mid basically. Like B shouldn't be there. They should just have A and then turn C into B, or like vice versa, and just completely delete B, because it doesn't make any sense to have 3 bomb sites on a map. Like,
I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I get they're trying to be completely different from CS, but I think it just doesn't sit right, and it just I don't enjoy it. I think I'm gonna find it very frustrating, even being a defender or an attacker. Especially when there's so many abilities and all the tactics, to have that that thrown in the middle, it can make it quite tough for decision making to be done, and quite confusing. Yeah,
definitely.
So why is, I'm assuming it is, but why is Cypher your favorite character or agent?
Oh, so okay, so Cypher's like he's a weird character. He can sort of do everything in a way. Like obviously he can't move around like a lot of other characters, but he can do a lot of other stuff. Like basically, I don't want to sound like egotistical, but Cypher is for like the really smart players, because you have to use his utility in a certain way to be able to hold a site down. And a lot of stuff, if you're versing good players, they already know what you're going to do with the character. So you have to sort of switch it up and really like mess with their heads. And also like that character, you can do so much. Like you can really like get a lot of frags with that character as well. You can get tons of kills in a game. Just by like playing certain routes with that character. And so I like that a lot about him, because he's quite versatile. Like he can do a lot of stuff without like a huge kit, as it would seem. But if you use it right, it has this huge impact. And I just love it. He's a good clutch character too, and that's sort of my favorite part.
Who's your second favorite if like someone slips in and takes Cypher from you? Who do you play after that?
Oh, definitely Reyna. 100% Reyna. Yeah, Reyna's like Reyna's probably my favorite character, actually. Yeah, she's just so much fun to play. Yeah,
she's pretty awesome. I hate going up against Reyna or Omen, and just like they just confuse me. It's too much going on for me. They're too hectic.
Oh, you can even like heal yourself after you get an assist as well. Like you tag someone, someone kills them, boom, full HP with shields.
You're back on. It's like a stim shot.
Yeah, exactly. And you get like a flash. You get 2 flashes. Yeah, she's really good, especially her ult too. Her ult's insane. If you can like kill people, then Reyna is like probably the best character.
And then what would probably be your most least favorite character that you like, if you just wouldn't like, you'd rather just quit the game than have to play that character?
That's probably the best question of all time. Oh man, I don't know. It'd be like Viper or something. Like Viper or...
Viper gets a lot of hate, man. Like she's my second character just because I love her walls and her ulti, but maybe it's just like, the ulti's okay, but everything else is maybe it's just average. I don't know.
I think maybe it's a problem with me. I haven't played her that much, so maybe that's why, but it'd be her,
it's not just you. Like,
Yorick.
even when I talk to other people, like I select Viper, like, why you got Viper? Viper's dog shit. I'm like, I like Viper, man. Viper's cool.
On Icebox, she is really good actually. Like Wildfire plays Viper quite a lot. In fact, he plays Viper too much, and it annoys me when we're playing ranked, because he'll just pick it on any map. And then I'll get mad. But
I think Viper is similar, like to what you said to Cypher. Like in a way, like if you don't use Viper well, it's just shit character. But if you know how to use the utility really well, it can be really damaging. Like setting those walls up at the right time, using the ulti at the right time, like you can change the momentum of a map or an attack or a defense really easily. But if you don't place them in the right spots, she's a useless character.
I think that's a very good way to look at Viper, actually. I would say that, yeah. I'm not smart enough at this point. Like, I haven't played her enough. I have no idea how to use her, but you're definitely right about that. Like, if you know how to use that character and you know the wall lineups, she's definitely really good and very useful. Yeah.
It's like, and I guess like I would say Sage would be one of the easiest characters to use, which is why I use her, because I think like you can't really go wrong with healing others, healing yourself, throwing those balls down to slow people, and putting a wall to block someone or even get to a higher place. Like it's really like it's basic character which can be used well from any person.
100%.
Where like like I said with Viper, like if you don't put those walls or smokes in the right spot, it's just like, well, you probably just made it worse for your team, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true.
So what are your, I guess, your personal goals before we start getting into King stuff? What are your personal goals just for you? I guess maybe not say professional wise, we'll just stick like, we'll just go with content wise. What do you want to do more with your content side of things?
Well, I definitely want to work on like consistent YouTube stuff, because I think YouTube is the place to be right now, other than like TikTok, obviously, because the algorithms on that are insane.
Yep.
I think YouTube is the place to be. So I want to be like, I don't want to put out like bad content. I want to put out really good content that people enjoy watching as frequently as possible. So I think that's my main goal at the moment, as well as streaming as well, because I think streaming will be really important for that as well, because if you get the YouTube views, you can sort of like, like more people will come to the stream, etc. So
exactly.
Yeah, so that's like the big thing for me at the moment. It's like YouTube, Twitch, get that sorted, as well as like being able to do all my, you know, competitive stuff, because I really want to win at the end of the day. Like that's definitely the most important thing.
For sure.
But yeah, the content is also like, if you want to sustain this, you have to do content.
Yeah. 100%. And it's tough, man. It takes up a lot of time. Like, I mean, streaming and doing YouTube videos, like just making a video, if you have to do it by yourself, it's just like, it's just really hard. Sometimes it's almost like, should I just pick one or the other? But yeah, no wonder a lot of these streamers end up just hiring editors to do their videos for them. It's just a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. That's why I got Yish, man. Like, I just send him a VOD and he'll whip up some like really like entertaining good video with all the best like stuff going on. Yeah, I just send it off to him and he does it for me. So I really appreciate having an editor, I will say. Like, to do that, it would take me 8 hours to edit a video like that. It takes him like an 100%. Hour or two.
Yeah, they just know it. It's just like, it's like you being cracked at Cypher. They just cracked at cracked at After Effects or something, you know?
That is so true, actually. That is so true.
So why were you happy in the end to come across the 1620 Kings and join a Valorant team that's, I guess you would say, was still building and still pretty fresh in the scene?
So initially I was like hesitant because I was like, I mean, Alex messaged me, he was like, oh dude, you should come join us. And I was like thinking about like, yeah, all right, I'll come hang out. And so I got him to get everyone in a Discord. So I came in and met them all, and they were all like really nice and like, you know, we were having fun or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool, this is dope. And then also Sketchy and Wildfire were on a team called 95X. And on my previous team, Paradox, they absolutely destroyed us in an official, which was like a really important official.
Yep.
And I remember just like, I was playing Cypher at the time as well. I remember being in the game and thinking like, how the heck is this happening right now? Like, this is absolutely annihilating us. And they went on to like go 11-13 against EXO and like almost beat them.
Yep.
And so I think that was also a big part of it. And then I like, you know, I saw Evie and Jedos play, and like Jedos has the mind of a professional tier 1 player. Like that dude, so underrated. Like, I mean, Digital noticed it in the officials. He was talking about it. Like, the way Jedos plays the support role, like the breach in the sky, he's so smart, and he puts so much work into what he's doing. It's like, it's incredible. And Evie, like, as soon as that dude gets more confidence in officials, he is going to be insane at
Yeah.
Like, that kid is insane. Evie is just like, he's so sharp, and you know, like I just saw all this stuff, and I'm like, this team has potential. I'm like, you know what? I want to be a part of this team. I want to take them to the next level.
Yeah.
And like, the way we're going is really impressive. Like, this is the most growth I've seen on a team in my entire esports career in this amount of time. It's been like 2 weeks or something.
That's crazy. Don't want to sleep on us for sure.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. That people do not want to sleep on 1620 Kings. Like, we're doing well.
Yeah, Vibe. I mean, Wildfire and a few of the other boys, along with the Maxi, the coach, and and Sketch and all that. They've done a pretty good job at reaching out and recruiting and finding players that I guess you could just call them sleepers in general. I don't know how many people know a lot about them, but they've just trusted an ability. And as we saw in that Lenovo thing, just the first few matches, it was clicking. It was clicking for a bit, and that just sort of shows you know the potential that we have when we're all on song. Obviously, you know, we crashed out a little bit, but that's a pretty abnormal tournament, as in compared to the normal ones you would play, because that's a long day of trying to focus up.
Oh yeah. By the end of it, I think like I think I was about to pass out. Like, I felt so, my brain was just like, it wasn't so much I was like physically like I needed to sleep. It was just like my brain just like I don't even know the word. It was just insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a big problem with the Fortress tournaments as well. Yeah.
Hopefully those tournaments can find a way just to either do it over 2 days or find a better system, because they're good, those free tournaments, when you enter and you can still win money, and it just gets the like community behind it and playing and getting involved in competitive play and getting a feel for what the scene would be like. But if it goes for that long, it can make it quite tough, and people will just be like, oh, I can't be bothered spending, you know, my whole day playing one event, you know, one game, you know.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I think they could probably, if they did it over 2 days, it would be good. Or even if they like did it over a week and scheduled the matches throughout the week, like you could like schedule like how LPL does it. Yeah. And have like the top 4 play get on like a Sunday or a Saturday throughout the day. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
And it's good because like we've also got, I find that OC has some pretty good casters, and we even saw just the other day, I think Wildfire co-hosted a cast and did really well. So if you get the right people in, the right knowledge, it's quite entertaining. You know, you can, and if they're really good at, I guess, dumbing down the language so the viewer can enjoy it in a way where, say, a player like me who's not competitive in Valorant or hardly knows anything about it, I just play it for fun, but they can, I guess you can say it's like how Joe Rogan explains UFC when he's commentating. Like, he'll tell you why they're doing it and how they're doing it, rather than saying, oh, he's using his ability there. It's like, well, cool, explain to me maybe why he's doing it. But you know, when you get casters like Wildfire and other guys who are good at explaining why he might be doing it, you can understand it better, and it makes you a bit more excited about viewing it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good way to put that, actually. I think Avril does that very well. So he's doing the well, he was my coach back on Dire Wars, and he was like, I very much appreciated him as a coach, because he's like an extremely smart guy, and also he was like older than all of us, and you know, he would just like tell us to shut up if we were, you know, being annoying, whatever. But yeah, like watching the NA games, like him and even Mac as well, like having those guys cast is like, it's just so much better. Like it's so much easier to watch, you know. Not that the other casters are bad, but I just, maybe it's because I'm biased because they're from OCE, but I thoroughly enjoy watching them cast the NA stuff way more than, you know, any other guys. Yeah.
No, that's sick. Well, I know that a few of you guys have hit me up on the YouTube saying you've got a scrim soon, so I think I'll have to let you go from here, and go smash out your scrim and get the dub. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure there's a few people that appreciate it and getting a little bit inside knowledge into the world of Wryce and how he plays and where he's come from, and then we'll just follow you guys from there and see how 1620 Kings goes. I think it's looking extremely promising.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, thanks, man. It's been a pleasure coming on. We'll have to do it again sometime.
For
I enjoyed
sure.
it.
Next time we might mix it up and try to do a podcast while playing Valorant together at the same time.
Oh, that'd be cool. Actually,
That'd be interesting.
Get that on the stream. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
get you carrying me. Sounds good.
Maybe you'll carry me, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm pretty cracked, man. Just ask the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's what Apple said.
No
Well,
worries, man. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
No worries. I'll see you later, dude.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Peace.
Guys. Oh, there we go. We have it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. That was Wryce, our 1620 Kings Valorant Pros come across to us. Performing very well, melding really well with the team. We see where he's come from. So you can see not all Valorant Pros come from CSGO or Overwatch. They've got a wide range. It shows how diverse Valorant is and all the communities from other games coming in. And even a little sneaky peek at potential of a possible LAN in the future. There we go. Pop that out there. And it's quite interesting that he had some little, I guess, party chats with Ninja. That's knocking it back a few years. So that's sick. So no, he's been in the scene for a while now. And we hope that he stays in the scene for a long time. We'll see. Who knows, when the new Halo comes out, he might dip back into his old regime, but hopefully he stays around and he enjoys his time at 1620 Kings, and hopefully he can help us get to the top and see us on the LAN stage when the jerseys taking a dub, holding the trophy up, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thank you very much again for him to coming on. As you can see, his Twitter is in the description below, so please go there, give him a follow. Go subscribe to his YouTube, his stream, his Twitch partner. I think he's close to being YouTube partner as well. He's pushing out some great content. If you want to see a guy with cracked aim, and you also be able to follow 1620 Kings through him as well, he's definitely a guy to watch. Thank you all again for tuning in. My name is Astem, CEO of 1620 Kings, and I'll see you hopefully maybe in the next couple of days for my own personal stream. Might play some Valorant myself, either that or CSGO. But in a fortnight, we'll probably have another podcast. Stay tuned on who that would be. Possible Dota, could be a thing, but we'll see how we go from there. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Catch you next one.